Everybody wants to face each other. So is that where we're at right now with Canelo Crawford?
No. Crawford needs the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
No, how could you convince fans that he can beat Canelo if you...
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter.
You know, I'm going to make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all going to cry when they get home. You know, and I meant them. I meant them.
Gervin Davis says Canelo Alvarez will humiliate Terence Crawford when they meet in the ring. He points out that Crawford is not invincible and reminds everyone that even Yurkis Gamboa hurt him during their fight. For Davis, this shows that Canelo's power and size will be far too much. He believes the difference between them is clear and Crawford's past weakness will resurface against a stronger and more dangerous opponent.
So how could you convince fans that he can beat Canelo if you...
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter. But, bro, I would say smaller fighters are always better than bigger fighters because they're smaller, they know how to move and things like that. But this guy is great at what he do. And another thing, bro.
Terence Crawford has built his career on proving doubters wrong. The undisputed champion at both lightweight and welterweight has now set his sights on the monumental challenge of facing Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. Despite concerns about size and power, Crawford remains adamant that his skills will shine through. In a fiery statement, Crawford declared that all those who doubt him will go home crying after fight night, underscoring his confidence and mental toughness heading into one of boxing's most daring moves.
You know, I'm going to make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all going to cry when they get home. You know, and I meant them. I meant them. You know, everybody's talking about the size and, you know, me being a smaller fighter, but if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes my whole career. Like, how I'm gonna take a punch? They punch me every time we spar. So, you know, it's okay. You know, once we get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, it's gonna be another excuse why the reason why Terence won and this and that and that is, but I can assure you, I'm going to be victorious, and after that, we're going to have another parade.
Gervin Davis, one of boxing's brightest stars at lightweight, has been vocal about his views on the Canelo-Crawford matchup. Known for his explosive knockout power, Davis has repeatedly chosen Canelo to beat Crawford. He argues that Alvarez's natural size, strength, and big fight experience will overwhelm Crawford, pointing out that Crawford has never fought at such a high weight. For Davis, Canelo's proven record across multiple divisions makes him the safer bet, even against someone as skilled as Crawford.
Turns boy Crawford, Tank is going to pick Canelo to knock Crawford out. We all know Tank had his little run-ins with Bud and things of that nature, to where Bud say he will fight Tank at 147, which is crazy to me, right? Tank ain't going to no damn 147. But nonetheless, Gervonta Tank Davis go ride with Canelo. And, you know, he a smart man. You know, he a smart man. Because I think everybody and their mama see that, you know, Canelo Alvarez is too big for Terence Crawford, just like Terence Crawford knew it. But Gervonta Tank Davis always picked Canelo over everybody. Doesn't matter who it is.
When it comes to resume and experience, Canelo Alvarez is unmatched in modern boxing. From battling Floyd Mayweather early in his career, Alvarez has consistently tested himself against bigger and stronger opponents. Supporters of Canelo argue that Crawford, despite his pound-for-pound brilliance, has not yet faced the same caliber of larger opponents. This history of overcoming size disadvantages bolsters Canelo's confidence as he prepares for another super fight.
I don't see Crawford knocking Canelo out. If Canelo lets Crawford get away with boxing, he may have a shot. If Canelo comes in there and boxes and cut the ring, Canelo has a chance of knocking Crawford out.
What?
Yeah.
You said Canelo got a shot at knocking Crawford out?
I think he does.
Wow.
Remember, Crawford coming up for 135. And I don't know if y'all remember when he fought Gamboa. Gamboa rocked him a little bit too. And we talking about Canelo Alvarez.
That was a long time ago. If we gonna do that, Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto.
I didn't know that. But on the real, Canelo has faced a bigger opposition. He's faced a bigger and a harder punchers. Who has Crawford faced that's a big puncher? Canelo's taking more hard punches than Crawford. The tail of the tape is going to be if Crawford can take the power from Canelo and can Canelo box with Crawford and potentially hurt him and finish the fight.
Analysts have been quick to remind fans not to rely on past comparisons when evaluating this matchup. Canelo Alvarez is not Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather. Canelo brings his own unique style, explosive power, upper body movement, and a granite chin. Likewise, Crawford's adaptability and switch-hitting ability are unlike anyone else. Experts emphasize that this fight cannot be measured by past blueprints. Instead, it represents a fresh clash of styles between two extraordinary fighters who bring something different to the ring.
Terence Crawford is a dog, that's a fact. Heart of a lion, that's a fact. Great boxer, great skills, high IQ, future Hall of Famer, that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You know what else is a fact, ladies and gentlemen? Terence Crawford cannot afford to get hit with these same shots by Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa, and he's for damn sure not Errol Spence Jr. This like Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather or Lara. We trying to say that Bud's going to do the same thing that Mayweather was able to do. Two different styles, two different type of fighters. Mayweather is a pure boxer. Terence Crawford is not a pure boxer. That does not mean that he can't box. Before y'all try to kill me in the comment section. Yes, he has the ability to box, but Terence Crawford is a boxer puncher, ladies and gentlemen. He gives angles, but he doesn't move like a Floyd Mayweather or a Lara. He's not on his toes like that. And he also likes to exchange when he gets hurt, and that can be to his detriment. And if he exchanged with Canelo a little too long, it might be NyQuil time. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section.
Canelo Alvarez enters the fight with the edge in experience and natural size. Fighting at 168 pounds is routine for him, while it is new territory for Crawford. Canelo has also been in the ring with numerous Hall of Fame-level opponents. On the other hand, Crawford is widely regarded as the most technically skilled fighter in the sport today. His timing, counter-punching, and ability to switch stances make him a nightmare for any opponent. This matchup, therefore, pits size and experience against technique and adaptability.
Odd makers have Canelo versus Crawford Gillette close. Now, obviously, Canelo has the size advantage. He's 3 weight divisions heavier than Crawford. And most people believe that Crawford carries the skill advantage, being an overall more skilled fighter. Neither guy is known for tremendous defense, but it's still solid. And of course, they're both chiseled into the Mount Rushmore of pugilism for their ironclad wills. The one area that people say Canelo might have the advantage is in experience fighting heavier dudes. Now, obviously, all fighters spar out of their weight classes. But when it comes to actually fighting in the pro ranks with those 10-ounce gloves, Canelo's the only one between the two of them that has a multitude of experience fighting super middleweights and light heavyweights in the pro ranks. So does this slight advantage give Canelo the nod and make him a bit of a favorite? Or is Crawford going to prove that size doesn't matter and it's skills that pay the bills? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez expressed strong doubts about Terence Crawford's move to face Canelo Alvarez. According to Sanchez, Crawford has never competed at this kind of level in terms of size and natural weight, which makes the challenge a risky leap. He emphasized that moving up too quickly can expose even the most skilled fighters to disadvantages that skill alone cannot overcome. Sanchez used Dimitri Bivol's victory over Canelo as an example. Val, a natural light heavyweight with notable size and stylistic advantages, still needed to perform at his absolute peak to earn that win. His point was clear. If a bigger, stronger fighter like Bov had to push himself to the limit, then Crawford's task against Alvarez becomes an even greater uphill battle. Sanchez's words underline the magnitude of the challenge Crawford is walking into.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that moving up in weight without having fights to merit that, I think it's the wrong move. But he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys. Nobody's hurt him. I mean, he's fought the biggest punch. He fought Gennady. Come on, he fought Gennady twice, really the good fights. And then Bivol hit him with everything and couldn't hurt him. So how's Terrence gonna do that? I don't think he can. I see Canelo going away maybe in a 16-12, 17-13 kind of fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo, or a little harder for Canelo because of the speed. But once just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the first 3 or 4 rounds where Kell was fast. But Terrence is going to expose himself when he throws his punches, and Canelo's going to finally get this timing down, and I think we'll be able to control the fight.
Do you see a version of Canelo now that is slowing down? Obviously, a lot of people might point towards the William Skull fight, but again, despite how that one played out, people talk about his lack of motivation maybe for a fight like that. But do you see this version of Canelo declining?
No, I think the lack of motivation because of the opponent could have been the reason for that fight. I think these guys at that level, once they get a name, they're looking at a name. It's a different story. They're not only their motivation, but they're waking up earlier in the morning to go run. All those things come into play because they know they have a challenge ahead of them.
One thing with the weight, and again, Buddy spoke to me about this, is he said that if he was Terrence, he'd come in just over the 160 limit, so he's just inside the 168 limit to try and keep a bit more of that speed instead of just like bulking up. Did you agree with that sentiment, or if you was Terrence, would you just bulk up?
Well, let me say this. Like everybody else, I read or I watch some of the writings on the internet, and to see that Terrence is weighing 186, 190 pounds, I think that's completely the wrong way.
Respected trainer Robert Garcia, who has worked with multiple world champions, raised concerns over Crawford's preparation. Garcia warned that adding weight too fast can diminish a fighter's natural gifts, particularly speed and reflexes, qualities that define Crawford's style. He also dismissed comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, reminding fans that Mayweather always stayed within his weight limits and fought strategically. For Garcia, Crawford's brilliance may not fully translate at super middleweight if the extra weight slows him down or affects his stamina.